So I planted these the other day, and I just wanted to show you because I have a big patch in my I had a patch in my garden, and they were becoming too shrubby for my liking, so I wanted to get rid of them, but I'm not totally. I wanted to replant them, but this time in a pot. So I just put this in water, and I don't know if you can see that, but I started to see a root system coming up. So I'm excited. I am going to just share. I'm gonna leave that for a day or two more, and then I'm going to show you when I put it in a pot with some compost in it. It's a really nice plant. We just call it curry here in the UK because it has the leaves are quite fragrant and they smell like Indian curry actually. And the plants, the flowers that it makes, they are really beautiful, yellow, bright mustardy yellow color. And they when you like, if you want to, if you want to get some fragrance in the garden, some smells in the garden for sensory people who like to touch or smell or taste stuff, this is a good plant to have as well, because you can smell stuff. You can say, oh, this smells like curry, and yeah. So I want to replant it. So I put this one. I've removed the other one. I have another one in another pot which I'm going to show to you as well, and I want to remove everything that is on that pot and start the pot afresh. So this is the only plant, the only surviving member of the family of this plant that would remain in my garden, because I love it so much. I don't want to completely get rid of it, and if I go to buy it in the garden center, I'm going to spend a fortune which I don't want to. So it's interesting how quickly the roots form. I'm sure you can plant these with the seeds, yeah, but sometimes just cuttings can really do the job quite quickly, and just in water. Even I didn't put it in any type of compost. I just left it in the water there, in the cup, in the cup of water there, just to try it out to see whether it will work. And I'm excited to see the roots. Hello guys, and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to propagate this plant right here. It's we call it the curry plant here in the UK, and it's a very lovely plant to add to your herb garden. Like if you know your herb garden, usually the ones the garden you have just right outside your kitchen door, where, or maybe on your windowsill in your kitchen, where you plant all your herbs and spices and all that. It's not just great for the herb garden, but it's also a very beautiful addition to your flower display. From it starts doing a lovely bright yellow mustardy color from around the spring up all into the summer, then early autumn, when it starts going brown because of frost. So it's a really, if you can have a plant that flowers for such a long time of the year, then it's a great addition to your garden. And also it's hardy. It's a hardy plant. It's a hardy perennial plant, so it doesn't die off. Look at the foliage. If you like a little bit of silver in your garden, then I love silver foliage as well. So if you like that type of thing in your garden, then this is one to have. It's never going to let you down. In fact, before we start talking about propagating it in water, because that's what I'm going to show you, propagating it in water, I'm going to take you to my garden and show you the one that I have in my garden, which I've had for years. I've lived in this house for about 3 years now, but I came with that plant from my old house, and it's still giving all its best to me. So let's go into my garden and have a look at that one before we take some cuttings from it and then come back in and get it started. So this is the one that I came all the way from my former house to this house with, and it's been in this clay pot for as long as it's been I came with it from my former house in the clay pot, and I put some on the ground. It started to make some bushes on the ground over there, and it started to make some bushes and became really wild, and you can see on the bottom side of it, it gets a little bit, it needs a little bit of attention. So from time to time, if it sits in water, the leaves rot, so you have to make sure that you don't let it sit in water when you've done it. And yeah, so when it's rainy, it gets a little bit, but This is how it looks in the winter. It's a really beautiful plant, and in the summer, from spring to summer to early autumn, it makes a lovely flower. I think it's got some seeds there. I think there's some seeds there that I need to take and see if I can try and propagate it from seeds and show that to you as well. So this is the plant that we're going to be growing in the indoors today in water. Let me get some cuttings from it quickly. So let's try to get something. Yeah, let's try to get something that is yeah, that one looks all right. Yeah, okay. And I like to use a scissors instead of a secateur for little plants like this, because a secateur might do too much damage to the plant. So a scissors will just give it a nice neat snip there. And I don't want to damage my plant. I just need one like that. One is all right, and maybe I'll get another one, and that's all right. 1 to 3 is all right. So let's go get them ready to go in a cup of water. Okay, so those are the cuttings I took from the backyard, from the garden, from my pots, my clay pots in the garden, and I've got my water ready for this to go in. You don't need too much water. I think that's a little bit too much, because you don't want the leaf sitting down inside the water. You want to make sure that you also pull those leaves down as much as you could. Pull them down, yeah. And some people say chop the top off, so it doesn't try to make flowers. Yeah, so it saves all its energy to make roots. Yeah, instead of trying to make flowers, it saves its energy to make roots. This one I planted the other day. In fact, I wasn't even trying to plant it, to be honest. The other day I just took a little snip because I just wanted some silver foliage to put somewhere to, as part of my aesthetics. I wanted to see a little bit of silver foliage, and I just threw it inside this citrus cup. And yeah, so you don't even really need to snip the top for it to start getting roots. But if you want it to happen much faster, it took about like 4 days for that one to come through, for the roots of that one to start to form, for me to start seeing them. It took about 4 days, but without the top bit, it might be faster. I feel that for a plant to start having roots in 4 days, that's really fast, because some seedlings stay in the seedling tray for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, thereabouts. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is I'm just like dressing that up, cleaning all of the dead leaves, yeah, and just allowing it to have a nice stem, and maybe I'll leave 1 or 2 there just to tell me that something is still happening, and I'll snip the top off like that. And there we are. Okay, and that's just going to sit on my windowsill until it's ready to go in the pots. Now I'm going to show you how I can transplant that one now into soil, because these plants cannot survive in water for that long. Okay, so it's past the water stage. I don't know whether it can live in water like for real, but at this stage now I have to put it in soil. So that's what we're going to do now. So for this bit, you need a pot to transplant, and you need some compost, which today I'm using John Innes #2 potting compost. So that's what I'm going to be using. That's what I have in here. I'm just going to give it a little booster with the all-purpose continuous release plant food. So that's going in as well. So I'm going to mix that up and mix it up a little bit. And of course, you do not have to go through the putting it in water process, you can just plant this up direct this way that I'm showing you now. You can just start it off directly, yeah, and this would do for you. It will not let you down if you plant it up directly in the same method. Okay, just take a nice cotton. Yeah, I'm just going to show you with this one because this is the one that I've already rooted that was in water, but you can just straight up take that one and put it in. Okay, plant it up. Yeah, pat that down a little bit and then top it up with a little bit more soil. Okay, so that's job done. All that needs now is a little drink of water, which I'm going to give it now. Let's take it outside and get it to join the rest of the family out in the garden, and then we can water it out there. This would be a nice place for it to sit amongst all the other plants. Right, I'm just gonna leave it there for now, just by the side of the greenhouse, and I'm gonna get some water for it now. And maybe we could put some of these chippings around it so it doesn't lose too many nutrients while we water it. That's a nice house for it.